I maintain several other companies' YouTube accounts for money, and I do little jobs here and there. So plus I got a bunch of my own stuff going on. All right, here we go. All right, there we go. We are on YouTube. All right, get rid of that. And very good. All right, and you guys remember, don't forget to go through and like and subscribe and all that good stuff to our YouTube channel and to our videos if you watch them. Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is the Southwest Florida Tech Net. We are here basically to help amateur radio operators around the world to get their equipment going and to impart as much information as possible. I am not the instructor. I'm simply the facilitator. Most of the people in here tonight know more about amateur radio than I do, and I'm upfront about that. But I do like to facilitate, and I do like to help people find other people that can help them get the job done. So that's basically my whole purpose here. Normally my co-host would be here, Joseph Cam4 OBZ, and I think we'll be hearing from him in just a little while. He's actually in he had some ham event come up tonight and he wanted to go do, and I'm like, that's great. We were going to do APRS tonight, as you guys probably remember. We've put that off to next week because Joseph and I want to do that together with you guys. So we've moved Summer Field Day, and yes, I'm going to call it Summer Field Day, so get used to it. That drives some people up the wall, and I don't care. It gets confusing, so I like to refer to it as Summer Field Day. Anyway, we're going to talk about everything there is to know about Summer Field Day tonight. That's what we're going to be doing. And then I'm going to discuss a little more about the shack. I've actually put a layout together that I'm going to pull up later and show you guys some of the things that I'm actually working on here as this project progresses. Had a little setback with my back this week. It's really bad this week, which sucks because I had it scheduled tomorrow morning. My son-in-law and I and a neighbor and my wife, the four of us, were going to take my tower down and switch out the hex beam and fix the 6 meter and redirect the camera and put it back up again at the end of the day. And that's probably not going to happen now that I'm basically almost out of service again. We soldered. I brought the we got the WatchNet repeater, and we're trying to put an Echolink node on it or an All-Star node. It's still not working. I don't know what we're doing wrong, but we're going to look at it again.
We soldered it to the wrong post.
That's probably what we did, and hopefully it won't be a problem. But
we're going to try again.
Yeah, we're going to redo it this week. So whatever.
Looking at the illustration.
Yeah, if I can't get it working, if Rick and I can't get it working, and Joseph, then I'm going to go ahead and put together a WinLink terminal on an Echolink terminal on one of my Windows machines, which is actually a fairly simple process. I've actually done it before. So, and I'm going to use a Baofeng. I've got about 7 of these things. I'm using several of them right now in a semi-permanent. I have 2 of these that sit in chargers all the time. And one of them does SARnet, and the other one does 2 different repeater channels for amateur radio. And those are broadcast around the world on Broadcastify. So I use these Baofengs for everything. I've got a jack that goes in here, the double jack. And on the other end, it's the triple ring jack that goes into like a smartphone. And so you can literally interconnect your Baofeng with anything that has a newer style or an older style sound card, depending on which one you buy. Some really neat stuff. Wanted to mention this week in the newsletter, there's some really cool stuff in the newsletter this week, especially if you've never done field day or you're thinking about doing field day. I'm going to spend a few minutes tonight quite a bit of time tonight talking about Summer Field Day. This is probably one of the biggest operating events that there is. And I think it's worth it for everybody to get involved in this. So I went ahead and devoted the entire newsletter just about to this. The software that we use, most of us use, it talks about all the different things about field day, the rules, everything. So it's all in there. So if you're thinking about working field day or getting involved, we're going to talk tonight about all the different ways you can get involved. And I've heard people tell me, well, I'm not going to go out there. And I know, because I felt like this. First time I went to field day, I was ignored by all but 2 people. And those 2 people were fairly nice. They talked to me for a little while. And it was just kind of, they were like, here, you try it. And I'm like, I don't know what to say. And I mean, it was off-putting. I'm like, I'm not, you're handing me a radio mic. I got my license 3 months ago, and I've never talked on an HF rig before. And so I understand that now. And looking back on it, I wish that could have been handled differently. What ended up happening the following field day, John, AA4JS, my friend, said, come and sit with me at my radio, and let's see if you like it before you bring all your stuff up and set up. I said, okay, that's cool. So I went up there, and John taught me contesting in 1 hour. Yeah. And he showed me what to do. He ran some, he did some where he was calling CQ, but a lot of what we did was chasing, pileups and working pileups. And he showed me how to do that on his radio. And I got to tell you guys, I had a blast. And after about an hour and a half, I stood up and he goes, where are you going? I said, home to get my radio. And I drove home, got my radio, came back, and I stayed up the rest of the time until it closed down the next day. I stayed overnight. I loved it. It was so much fun. I think I made 300 voice contacts on my first field day, single sideband. And I just loved it. I had such a great time. And the night crew with FMARC was great. And we just had a really good time overnight. It got a little cold. It was winter field day.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, well, it got down to like.
Oh, it was cold that night.
Yeah, it got down to like 45, which for Florida is like a blizzard.
Yeah.
But the wind was blowing a little bit too. It got, one thing, cold's one thing, but when you sit out in it all night, it's a lot colder.
And
anyway.
Blowing.
Yeah, and there's something about the hum of a generator that will put you to sleep when you're really cold. Anyway, I loved it. It was fun. Summer field day, I can't do it. It's too hot. I'm going to admit it. I'm a big wuss when it comes to the heat. I'm an AC guy. If the AC's out, I go sit in my car. I can't live without it. I think people that move here of their own accord are crazy. This is like the hottest, most disgusting place in the world about 6 months out of the year. And I can't stand it. So when it comes to summer field day, I work it from the shack. And I think you guys should consider working from the shack. A lot of people are like, well, I go out, but I don't really get along with some of the guys at the club, which is usually always the case. Or I go out and I go there and there's always guys working and I'm not bringing my own radio because I don't really have a good radio. And I hear all these excuses and I want to tell people that I don't want to hear the excuses. This is the best time for you to introduce yourself to the whole thing of contesting. And I even have it here in a little graphic. It's in the newsletter. I came right out with it this time. It's like, here it is. I don't want to look stupid. I get that. Well, I didn't want to look stupid either. The reason I never took up message handling, I'm going to be honest. I'll be totally honest with you guys. I think the NTS system, the message handling, I think it's really cool. But I don't like, they have the wash, rinse, embarrass, and repeat method of teaching people how to do it. And it upsets me when they're like, well, go on there and make an attempt at it. And then we're going to tell you all the stuff you did wrong on the open radio channel. And then you can try it again and we'll see if you screw up again. And then we'll tell you all the things you did wrong. I'm sorry, but I don't learn on an open channel. And so what I decided was I was going to wait until they came out with some training. I've got the message pads up here, the yellow pads. They're not yellow anymore, I guess. Somebody told me. And I was going to do NTS. They never trained. They never had a class. And I'm not going to go on and do it in front of everybody on the air. So I understand where you're coming from. I've never sent an NTS message because I've never been trained. And I'm not going to do something that I'm not trained trained to do. And so, and have a chance to practice with people that have done it before. So, and I told him, if you ever start training people again, maybe I'll do it, because it looks like something that would be cool. It's a skill that we all should have, to be able to pass written traffic. It seems like a good skill that we all should have, and it parallels over to emergency management and all the stuff we're doing with the watch and everything else. It is a great way to pass information. Anyway, so the point I'm trying to say is, don't worry about looking stupid. Don't worry about getting in there and not doing a good job. Let me tell you something. Okay, honestly, I know there's a few newer guys in here. This is what you do. You do it if you've got an HF rig, even if it's not that good of an antenna or whatever, you'll still get some contacts. Work it from home. Work it from home. You're not doing it for points anyway. This is the biggest thing I think people screw up when it comes to field day and even contesting. Screw the points. You're not going to win. None of us will ever win those things. There's guys that, some of these contests, and I know Rick and some of these other guys that have done contests, they can stand up and tell the same story. A lot of these contests, you have to give the line number of your entry. Like, if you're the fourth person in my log, I would tell you check number 04, because you're the fourth line in my log. Now, here's the thing. I'll be on there and I'll be on check number 30 on my log. And I'm working people that are on check number 400 in their log. And I'm like, so you're not ever going to win this thing. It's not for winning. Now, if you want to win this thing, get with me. It's going to take 4 of us, and we're really going to have to work it. We're going to have to build a station somewhere and everything. But you can win contesting, and I'm willing to do it if I found the right group of guys, because I can be competitive in that way. And I think it'd be a lot of fun to go out and beat and work and get 1,000 contacts in it. But that's not why I'm doing it right now. I'm doing it to learn. I want to learn. And so winter field day and summer field day have turned out to be 2 great learning times for me. They run for 20. You can go for 27 hours. I know they say 24, but who cares? You're not doing it for the points. They won't give you points after 24, I don't think, unless you're a club or something. But listen, the points don't matter. The multipliers don't matter. None of that matters. Just make contacts and put them in your logbook. One of the other things, some of the other things that people talk about all the time is they talk about it's too hot. I agree it's too hot. I absolutely agree it's too hot. And so I have a couple of suggestions for you. Number one, offer to work the night shift. Whether you're in Charlotte, Charlotte's got a big group doing it. I think Collier's group's doing it. And I know that FMARC is doing it up here at the up here at the North Fort Myers ballpark up here behind the library. So find a club that's doing it and at least go visit them and check out the radios. Take the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and take the opportunity to learn what you can from the experience. But I would work from your shack if it's too hot, or work the night shift. If you get with your club, a lot of times they're looking for 3 or 4 guys to work overnight. Yeah. And if you work overnight, it's cooler. Go ahead, Rick.
I'll tell you something else you can do. Well, one of the great advantages of operating field day is you probably get the experience of operating several different radios. And if you're looking for a radio, it gives you a better idea what you want to get, because it's better to test drive them and then you can get a better idea what they're like, because they're all different and the menuing systems are different, and everybody's got a different style of operating. Another thing I do is get on YouTube and look and see how, I'm sure there's a bunch of videos on how to do field day. So check that out. And that goes for National Traffic System as well. If you want to know more about that, it'd be a place.
I know there's videos. Yeah. That's not the point.
Yeah.
The point is people got to, a lot of people aren't going to take it upon themselves. You got to go out and reach out to people and do it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so overnight is my one suggestion. Work it from home, especially if it's your first one. If you've never worked a contest, not this weekend, next weekend is your big opportunity play around and practice for 24 plus hours. And of course, you don't stay up all night. You don't stay up all day. You can work whatever you want and just make contacts. Make contacts and use the exchange and get used to it. Learn little tricks. There's a lot of tricks, and we're going to go through those here in just a little while. I know I won't win. Yes, you won't win. I can guarantee that you're not going to win anything. It's not like the fair where everybody gets a little stuffed bear about this big. Not everybody gets a plastic bag with a goldfish. I'm going to tell you guys something. You're not going to win. There's nothing to win. The winning is the learning. The winning is the doing. The winning is the fun you have with your friends. The winning is contacting that far Western Canadian station on single sideband in the middle of the day. I mean, there's some neat things, you know. There's a lot of neat things that you can do with this. And we're going to go over even more of that as we go down it. But I know I won't win is one that I hear a lot. Another one I hear, and this one concerns me too. I make a lot of contacts at field day, but my club gets all the credit. Well, that's true. It's kind of one of those things. You know, when you go work for a business and the man's paying you, you know, he gets credit for your work. That's how it works. When I go into work and they're paying me, and I voice commercials, they don't pay me extra for that. I'm doing it while I'm getting paid. So just here, read this into the mic, save it. Oh. You know, so that happens a lot at work. And it's the same thing with field day. You can make as many contacts as you want for the club. If you're calling out the club's call sign, that's who gets credit for the contact. So my first field day, I made 300 single sideband contacts that I did not get credit for. Am I pissed about it? No. Knew it going in. Not upset about it at all. Yeah. But is it something I think about? Yeah, it is. And it incentivizes me, especially in the summertime, to work my ass off at home and do it from home. So, you know, that's what I do. Now, winter field day, I think by the time we get around to winter field day, 6 months from now, I'm hoping that maybe a few of you guys want to get with me and we'll go set up somewhere. And we'll all just work our own call signs. I would love to find 3 or 4 guys that want to work. I have the generator equipment. Who's calling me? Hold on, let me just keep this.
Yeah, well, whilst you're on there,
maybe
Ian, I've got another point of view. I kind of like the field day because, as you say, you're making the effort to learn yourself at home, but you can go there and you can watch other operators.
Yes.
And then you learn in that respect. And also it's the camaraderie. I mean, we don't take field day. We use field day. If you look at that little script that you did that the ARRL is putting out about field day, it says it's to put to amateur radio in the public's eye. And what we do is we invite families, we invite friends to come and see what amateur radio is about. This year, because obviously, you know, we're heavily snowbirded our club, so we're only doing Saturday. We're doing 11 till 6 with a barbecue afterwards, on the air 2 till 6. But for us, it's a presentation to the public. You know, bring your friends, bring your family. Learn. You know, I've encouraged 4 new licensed amateurs. I hope they come, and then they can operate the radio with help. They can see how it's done and then have a go. Even not get your family to have a go. But I see your point of view, but you know, I've got a slightly different one.
No, that's fine. I mean, look, I like to go to field day. You know, I mean, I like to see other people's rigs. In fact, I'm considering driving up to Charlotte County. I like those guys up there in cars. And it's not that far for me to drive because I'm way up here in the north part of Lee County. So I'm considering driving up there just to hang out with them for a couple of hours, hear them talk about their radios, what they like about them and how they work. That stuff's very valuable. And yeah, the camaraderie, yeah, that's great. I mean, if you know, it's one of those things. If you're in with a group, and there's a lot of different groups, if you're in with a group where you want to hang out with those people and they've included you in the group and they've brought you into the group and they want to hang out with you, that's fine. Okay. Not everybody's that fortunate, unfortunately. I've gone to 3 different groups functions and gotten the cold shoulder from all 3. So no, the Collier group was not one of them. But I've gone to these places and I sit there and no one ever even talks to me. It's kind of like you're either in the clique or you're not. So I don't know. It's one of those things. If you're in it and you enjoy it, do it. Like I said, I'm wanting to do something in the winter where it's just 3, 4, 5 friends, buddies, go out. We'll start up my generator. Everybody can plug in. I got folding tables. I can come up with everything we need pretty much, other than, all the antennas, but I'll have a few. And I want to work field day. I want us to do it from somewhere. I want to go out in the middle of nowhere. I want to work with no noise floor for once. No, I'm serious. I want to go out and be, where BF Egypt is?
Yeah,
I'm afraid so.
You go there and you make a left. That's where
It's
I want
in
to go.
Northwest Cape Coral.
Yeah.
BFE.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I want to do. But
we need a trailer then, because it's going to be bloody cold. It was this year.
yeah, it was, and I want to work it. I want to work it some time. And work, we can work relays, different things. I love field day. I really do. It's just it's intolerant sometimes, the way it's just everybody stands around and just looks at 3 people working the radios. And you signed up as a 7 club. Guess at least get 6 or 7 transmitters going at one time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think your problem, and I hope you pointed it out to the club, that's a club's problem. The fact that you were ignored, because what we do in our club is we allocate people certain hours. You say, look, the first hour of the event, or even when we're erecting stuff, if you see somebody showing an interest, or somebody who comes up, or looks like they want to get involved, it's your job to go and talk to them. This is what a club should do. A club should have somebody. We've got people, organized to look out for somebody new, so that they can go and talk to them, explain what we're doing. And, it's never a waste of time. It might be some old lady walking her dog and her grandson is interested. You know what I mean? It's never a waste of time. But
Nope.
the club should, that's a club's fault. I hope you pointed it out to the club, because they should, allocate people to do that.
I think so too. I mean, I don't know. The amateur radio, a lot of times I find to be warm and inviting, and other times I find it to be kind of cliquey. So I think it just depends. Yeah, it is. It's just like everything else. You're absolutely right. The people in amateur radio, I think in most cases are a rung above the average folks, but still, it's all right. I'll tell you what. Here's the thing. Like the media, I think the media should be all over this. I've tried to get the club here 2 different times to let me bring the media in, and it never happened. They're not interested. I got with the PIO and he's like, no, we're not, we're not really doing anything right now. Really? Well, the media is your window to all those people out there that are potential new licensees. And if you just piss on the media, I'm not going to call, I'm not going to let them know what I'm doing. Then so you're just doing this for your own fun and gratification. That's it. It kind of made me mad. And so this year I helped Charlotte. I went to my news director and I talked them into assigning a reporter 2 weeks ahead of time to the Charlotte County thing. She's been up there. She's talked to him. She's talked to Dave, the guy that runs a group up there, and all that. They're setting up all kinds of stuff. They're going to be doing live shots out there on Saturday with them. And it's awesome. That's what field day should be about, is getting people involved in amateur radio.
They got flashing lights and donuts?
I hope so. I do. I really do. I'm serious. I think that we should do. I think we should have signs out on the road. Amateur radio field day. Join us. I mean, things could be done, and I just don't see it, because it's almost like it's a gentleman's club, and we just don't really need any more gentlemen right now. Anyway, remember, you don't have to be a super ham to operate on field day. In fact, field day, summer and winter field day, or field day, which is summer field day. Those are the two times when you'll hear the most people on the air that don't know what the hell they're doing, because it's a very accepting time. Okay, everybody's going to help you. You listen to contesters on there. You listen to contesters on better. They sound like a New York police dispatcher on there. Okay, and they're emergency traffic. It sounds like literally like the dispatcher at the Johnstown flood, and you're like, holy crap, what? And they're good, and then you stumble in there, and you screw up, and suddenly he becomes really nice. Hey man, good luck. Great to get your license, this and that. The first year I got my license, my first contest, we had to give the last two digits of our license year as the check number. So I was a check 20, because I've only been licensed 2 years. I was a check 20, and when I said, every time I would say check 2020, they would always come back and say, welcome to ham radio. We're glad to have you aboard. And I don't know. I thought it was really cool that on that one contest, because I had to tell them all I was brand new. I had to, as part of the thing. But they were all really cool about it. Everybody helped me out. And that contest, and plus Winter Field Day, really got me into ham radio contesting. Again, I call it contesting, but it's basically, how should you say it? If you like fishing and all you really want to do is just pull fish out of the water, okay, then you go to a trout farm. I mean, I look at it that way. You can go out here and call CQ all day long till you're blue in the face, and you'll either get some grumpy guy that really don't want to talk, or you'll get somebody that tells you you're on their channel. One day I'm going to get my own channel. Anyway, but on a contest, everybody wants to talk to you. So I like that. I mean, I like people wanting to talk to me. The bad thing about being in South Florida, and I don't know if you guys have considered this, we're not a hot zone. There's so many damn radios operating in the South Florida zone that a lot of times they'll skip us over, or they won't call you because they don't need your zone. A lot of people are very anal about wasting their time. They want to get multipliers first. So anyway, all right, enough of that. The next thing, you can play as little as much as you want. Remember, if we're not playing for points, then just do it for an hour and go in and watch a movie with your wife, and then sneak back out to the shack and work it for a few more hours. Get up at 3 a.m, work it for a few more hours. I like the middle of the night. It gets really quiet after midnight, and you'll go on there and start. And I'm a pouncer. I normally like to work to pile up and get in, but late at night, I'll be a CQer. I like doing a CQ late at night when the frequency's quiet, and you start listening and getting those faraway stations. Anyway, reasons to work field day. And Dave, this goes to what you were saying. Number one reason to work field day: social gathering. I mean, that's the number one reason. Eating and drinking, camaraderie, friendship, emergency preparedness is on the list. Training ourselves, demonstrating emergency preparedness, experimentation, trying out new and different equipment other people have, acknowledge knowledge in building things, recruiting new hams and potential hams. I think that should be much higher on this list. I think that should be at the top of the list, recruiting new hams. I really do. I want to be doing this for 20 or 30 more years, and I want to have somebody to talk to. Who can operate field day? Everybody. If you've got a license, you can operate on field day. If you got a tech license, you can go to a club, even a club you're not a member of. Okay. And I know FMARC, even, they'll do it too. Any clubs, I know the Collier group, ASRAF or whatever. I always forget you guys' name. But I know that the group down there, I'm sorry, forgive me. I know that they'll do it. And I know the Charlotte group will welcome you with open arms, sit you down. And as long as you have a general licensee sitting next to you, you can operate anywhere that general licensee is allowed to operate.
Yeah.
And that goes for extra as well. So you can go and operate at field day even without the license. You can even operate at home on 10 meters. There's some space there, I think, for technician. There's space on 10 meters. There's space on 6 meters, 2 meters. You can compete. I got 2 single sideband 2-meter contacts at Winter Field Day on a Yagi that I had sitting on top of a tripod on top of my van. And I just shot it north, and I got 2 different sideband contacts on the SSB calling channel on 2 meter. So that's the kind of cool stuff you can do on field day, because there's people out there. There's people looking. You know, you can contact another ham using a laser beam. And as long as you meet the little bit of requirements there, it has to be so far away or whatever, it counts as a contact. So there's some neat stuff.
It's about 275 gigahertz.
Yes. Field day entry.
You can do it with a couple of flashlights, can you?
Yeah.
Well, if they'll let you do it with a laser, they have to let you do it with a light. I mean, it's the same thing.
Yeah, but you're modulating the laser, but with flashlights, you're sending Morse code on and off.
Oh yeah, I see what you mean.
You can even modulate it.
Yeah. That technology that Joseph was playing with, where he can bounce a laser off the neighbor's window, and the vibration of the glass, you can hear what they're saying.
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy. Not that he would ever use it for anything like that. But so what are we trying to accomplish? Well, we just talked about that. Entry categories, number of transmitters. The number one thing we're looking at, number of transmitters. Like if you're a 6 station, that would mean you can have 6 simultaneous transmitters. Okay. Where does this count? Only for clubs. If you're using your personal call sign, you're a 1 station, no matter what. Mm-hmm. You'll hear a term called GOTA. Has nothing to do with POTA or OTA or YOTA. But GOTA is a get on the air station. And clubs can put up a GOTA station. I don't know what a GOTA station looks like. I think it's all hairy. But you put up a GOTA station, you hook it up, and then you can let people train on it and use it, and you can win a bunch of bonus points if you're into the points by putting up a GOTA station. Does anybody do that, or anybody know anything about that? They want to speak about it?
I've seen it done. What they do is operate under a separate call sign.
Yes.
But you can, if you've got an extra class licensee there, you can put people on the air, I think, even that are unlicensed. Just as long as you know what's going on.
Even a potential licensee, someone that doesn't even have a license, can go on the air and contest at winter, at summer, at any time, as long as you have to be in physical control of the transmitter. To be able to cut him off if he starts doing something. But
we usually run a GOTA station, but it's also used as the 6 meter station. So if 6 meters is open, then we use it for that. But if it's, so we always count ourselves as 1 extra transmitter to whatever we've got, because some people bring their own, and they want to try it on our antennas, or they want to try something else, So we always have, so if we're, I think this time we're going to do a 5. I think we're 4. We're only going to be running 3 stations plus the GOTA station, which will run 6. So we've got a 4-element beam going up on top of the mast for 6, because 6 has been wild, as you know, for the last 4 weeks or so now. So we're hoping that 6 will be open. But yeah, we run the GOTA station. But like you say, we're not going to win. We're only doing it half the time anyway. So, you might as well throw in whatever number you like, and then you've got flexibility.
Right. And you run the numbers and see how it comes out, because you're putting your log in anyway, especially if you're a club. And so you see how you did compared to last year. I mean, that's pretty much what you're competing against. Anyway, the next thing you need to know is, so we know the number of transmitters, and we need to know where the station is located. If you're here anywhere south of Tampa, you're in South Florida, SFL. Okay, there's North Florida, there's South Florida, then there's Tampa area.
That's Central Florida.
Central Florida, right? I don't know why they ended up getting their own, but that is a very populated. When you take it, when you go out 10 counties like they did, that's a very populated area.
Yeah.
So I guess I see that. So you're going to be the number of transmitters and then the class station you are. And then you're going to be where your station's located. And we're going to put all this together here in just a minute. And your how your transmitters are powered and whether you're on emergency battery or not is going to depend. That will depend on what class station you end up being. As far as the stations, let's see here. We'll get back to that. This is, if you guys got the newsletter, this is all in the newsletter. But the basic rules, all transmitters must be within a 1,000-foot circle. This is for clubs. All transmitters must use the same call. Phone, CW, and digital are considered separate bands. All voice contacts, whether it be SSB, FM, AM, or satellite, are all worth 1 point each. Now, you can contact me on voice, and that's 1 point. You can then contact me again on CW on the same frequency, on the same band, and that's 2 points. So that's 3 total. Then you can get me on FT8 on the same band, and that's 2 more points. Because each band counts as a new contact, and each of the 3 types count as a new contact. Does that make sense? Does everybody understand where I'm at with that?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not the best at explaining technical things, but it works out that you can contact each person on the same band 3 different times using each of the 3 different methods. Doesn't matter AM, FM, sideband. That doesn't matter. Voice is voice. Digital doesn't matter if it's JS8, FT8, whatever, doesn't matter. That's digital. And then CW is CW. It is what it is. Okay. No crossband contacts. It's weird that voice is worth 1 point, digital's worth 2, and CW is worth 2. When they first did this, it was explained to me, it was because digital was in its infancy and they wanted to drive people towards digital. We don't have that problem anymore. In fact, I think digital should be worth 1 point and sideband should be worth 2. Because now you've got everybody propagating over, going over to digital because there's more points. I don't know. I think that we should switch it back now. We've got enough people on digital. They need to reconsider that points, I think. But we're not necessarily here to argue about how they're doing it tonight. You can only have 1 transmitter per band at any given time. So if you got a guy working CW on 40 and a guy working CW on 80 and it's the middle of the night, you're going to have to work voice on 20 or 30 or 60. Or, well, actually, you can't work some of those. They're work bands. We'll get into that in a minute, too. But you got to be careful because each group of radios, you can only use 1 band from 1 radio at any time. Doesn't matter what type of signal you're sending out. Let's see, you can work the same station on other frequency bands or modes for additional points. In other words, in order to make a valid contact, the information exchange must consist of the number of transmitters, the class, the ARRL section number. You have to have those 3 things in order to do it. And remember, if you're down here, you're South Florida, SFL. So what I always say is SFL, South Florida. And if they say repeat, I'll say SFL, Sierra, Fox, Lima. Yeah. And they'll usually get it at that point. I haven't got to it yet, but I'm going to go ahead and mention it now. Please use standard phonetics. I really hate. My biggest complaint about contesting and my biggest complaint about HF radio is the non-standard phonetics. You've got about a third of the people that use country names. As ignorant as that seems, because we're on an international radio system, and we're going to use standard phonetics, and we're going to use country names that we're talking to. That doesn't seem. That seems about as dumb as using names like Adam, Tom, Boy. But anyway, the phonetics it's pretty important to just try to use the phonetic spelling. Or the phonetic alphabet. I've got it in this week's newsletter. It really helps. You'll get these people that'll be like Ocean, Japan, Indonesia, France, England, Italy. I'm like, Jesus, are you on a trip? So anyway, it just helps if you do that. Must be accurate. In order to get points on both sides, they want it to be accurate. Okay, so it is what it is. There's 71 US and 12 Canadian sections. Now, you're allowed to contact people that are outside of the US and Canada. I don't think you get a lot of points for it, though. I don't think there's any multipliers or anything for it. Let's see. Some states and provinces are divided like ours. You'll find Massachusetts has 2, New Jersey has 2, Texas has 3 sections. Ontario now has 3 sections. New York has 4. California has 6 sections.
Pennsylvania has 2.
Yeah. Each one of them has a unique identifier, and they don't all like, you got South Florida, Central Florida, North Florida. Those are kind of easy. But when you get to California, you've got like San Joaquin Valley, so it's a little harder to know where you're at once you're over there. So just pay attention to it. In the newsletter, I also have a map, and I'll show you that here in just a second. Here's all the bonus points. I don't think I'm going to read through these. I think we're getting bored here. Most people have done this already. So I just want to go real quick here. If anybody has any questions, let me know. Just yell out. But for right now, these are all the bonus points that you can get. And I think I'm just going to leave it there. And you guys can kind of check those out. If the media comes out, it's 100 points. If you're at a public location, it's 100 points. You can read through these. You can make all kinds of points by doing all these things. Is it dumb? Not really. I understand what ARRL is doing, even though I don't agree with other things they do. I think this actually is pretty good. It's kind of old-fashioned and weird. Well, everything they do is old-fashioned and weird. But as weird as it is, I agree with this because we're enticing people to be as active as we can out in front of the public during one of the few public events that we have every year. So I get it. I understand it. And I support it. But there's all these different things that you can get. You can even have a public information table. It's funny that the one group, I'm not going to mention which one, guy shows up, sets up a table, sits there for 2 hours, folds it up, leaves. Boom, 100 points. Anyway. And that's all I got to say about that. Let's see. Tactics. Search and pounce versus calling CQ. Like I said, I like the search and pounce all except in the middle of the night when it's quiet. Then I'll go find me a nice quiet frequency somewhere and I'll start calling CQ. When you're doing search and pounce, you can be selective about who you call. It's like you'll hear the guy contacting other people and he'll be like, QRZ. And then you'll hear like 20 people try to call at one time. That's called a traffic jam. And he'll come on and he'll go, unit ending in whiskey. And then you'll hear a few units come back, a few stations come back. Sorry, I was a dispatcher. A few stations come back. And then he'll say, okay, whiskey 2, whiskey, whiskey, whiskey. I got you this time. and then he'll give his exchange. I'm a 2 Delta, meaning 2 transmitters, Delta station. I'm North Florida NFL, and then I'll come back with my exchange. I'm South Florida. I'm a 2 whatever. I would say that first. I'm a 1 Delta South Florida, and he'll be like 1 Delta South Florida. Good luck, QSL. And when he says QSL, everybody jumps back in again. That's the pileup. It'll pile up just like that. He'll work 3 stations a minute on average if he's doing good. Sometimes as many as 4 or 5 if the people he's working are good at it.
Yeah.
It's to hear a man that's been doing it a while. It's impressive. It's impressive. I love it. I'd love to get that good one day. I can't wait. And it's a lot of fun to listen to them. And then, like I said, they will slow down and help you. You should never be intimidated. There's no ambulances being dispatched on this frequency, so there's no emergency. You just go and have a good time with it, and they'll be good. They'll be nice back to you, I promise. Useful in contests where multipliers are AWL sections or zones. Like, what's neat about this, if you're the one going around pouncing, you can listen to what he's telling the other stations and write it down. And then you can say, okay, he's in Nebraska. And you can look up on your club digital map, if you've got one going, or on your M1MM map, on your boxes that are filled out, see if you need Nebraska. If you don't need Nebraska, if you've already got Nebraska, then go on. See if you can find somebody else that you don't have yet. Now, you can always come back and get Nebraska later and still get the point for it. But you want to find your multipliers first. Like if you don't have any states on the left side of the country, and you hear a guy come up in Oregon, man, you're going to want to jump on him. But if you got 7 people in Georgia already, you're probably going to go past him for a little while. See if you can find something better. So you can pick and choose what you're going after. When you're calling CQ, all you're hearing is their call sign. So you can't really be choosy, really, about who you're answering. So you end up with whatever you get. You can intentionally avoid large pileups. If you hear him say QRZ or QSL, whatever he says, and everybody starts calling up real quick, and you hear like shitloads of stations all on top of each other, go find one that's not quite as big a pileup. Maybe he's probably putting out all kinds of wattage on top of a mountain, and he's got people answering him all over the world or something. So go find another one. You don't have to jump on the first pileup you run across. And you must check the log to make sure you're calling a station that's not a duplicate. This is where the software is very, very important. I know the software is a little complicated, but we're going to actually load up M1MM tonight and show you guys what to set it on.
I use.
Yeah, and I'm glad Rick and a few others are in tonight because it's been a while since I've done it. But we're gonna pull that up and just look at it real quick here at the end. Now, when you're calling CQ, number one, you'll never know who's going to answer. I just mentioned that may not work as you may not get as many multipliers. You'll get more stations by calling CQ, but you may not get the ones you need to be all the multipliers. Okay. You want to get at least one contact in every zone first, because that gives you the maximum amount of multipliers to give you more points. Again, if points matter. Okay. Usually you can work a lot more stations, give you a higher queue rate, basically. You can work 5, 6, 7 stations a minute sometimes. These guys are crazy how fast they go. May have to you can use the voice keyer. My ICOM 756 Pro, I can program my 5 buttons below the screen to send out pre-recorded messages. So what I can do is I can make a message that says CQ contest, Kilo Oscar 4, Echo, Foxtrot Sierra, CQ contest. And then all I got to do is just keep hitting that button. I don't have to say it over and over and over.
Automate your station. That's what I do with CW contests. That's all.
Yep. And then you can even have the third button or whatever can come back 1 Delta South Florida or whatever you're supposed to say. You know what I'm saying? 59 1 Delta South Florida, whatever. You can put the and you can actually put that right in there and just hit button 3. I didn't start using mine until I got into the overnight, and I started getting a little bored, and I figured out how to program it.
Some of this stuff I do entirely. Well, some of these CW contests, I do it entirely with my trackball. I don't even touch the CW key. I just click on the right thing and go away. Keep going.
Wow.
It's all automated.
And of course, handling a pileup. Handling a pileup is just I'm gonna tell you, there's little tricks to it. When people are calling and you hear like 20 stations come in, you want it when you're calling into that pileup. I'm going to give you a couple of tricks. Okay, you're calling into the pileup. Here's a couple of things I do. This is messed up, and I had some of this stuff John taught me, and some of this stuff I picked up along the way. Okay, you'll hear all different people. You'll come back. Unit ending in whiskey. And this is a pileup. Okay, so what you do is you figure out how, okay, is he calling people he hears at the top of the pile or at the bottom of the pile? What you find is most of these guys call the last clean station they hear the last 2 or 3 characters on. So what I do is I hear, and I go, and I'll go, Echo, Foxtrot, Sierra. I'm just giving out my last 3. Echo, Foxtrot, Sierra. You know, and then every 3rd or 4th time I'll give the whole thing, so I stay legal. But I'll, you know, and that works. Sometimes if it's real bad, I'll wait. If he's one of these guys that lets it relax a little bit before he answers, I'll go at the very end and I'll go, Sierra, and he'll come back. Unit ending in Sierra. It works, man. I'm telling you, I've probably done that 50 times.
Hey, this is how QRP operators work, because I know that. I am one. You try.
Yes.
It's a matter of timing. You go. You let all of the screamers get it out of their line.
Yep.
You come in and give your call.
Yeah.
Because they normally go with the last one they hear that they can hear something out of.
Yeah, and it's hilarious.
Listen, while we're going through this, you guys, if you have experiences, give us your experiences. I want to hear from everybody. I know a lot of you have done this.
Yeah, if you're at the other end of a pileup, i.e. you're not trying to, you know, you've got a million people calling you, which, you know, if you're lucky, unfortunately, Southwest Florida doesn't really happen that much. But there's quite a few tricks you can play there. I like to take 3 calls. The strongest one I'll ask to hold, and then one with more than 3 letters I'll take, and then one with 2 or 1 letter I'll ask them to hold as well, or go the other way around on the 2. But the strong station I'll ask to hold, and then you can work 3 really, really quick.
I think I've heard people doing it that way.
Yeah, you got to have a notepad. You got to be. And what I do is I usually use the notes in the, you can put comments in the recording program, whatever your logbook program is, and I'll put the next 2 calls in there and then copy them down, you know, and keep going. And that for me works. I prefer the CQ than the bouncing, because the bouncing's a pain in the butt. And once you get 1 contact to your CQ, you can almost guarantee you get 3. Because that band, that frequency is active, and people like the pouncers cruise up, cruise down, cruise up, you know.
Yeah, and they'll come in and they'll listen for a while.
The other thing is, if you're QRP, say your QRP. Yeah. That helps as well. Go late and say, you know, like, Alpha Victor QRP. That's what I do. Yeah. And they'll come back and say, oh, QRP station. If you're lucky, sometimes they'll actually ask for QRP stations.
Yeah, I've seen that happen too.
So if you're going to call CQ, the procedure you would follow is you would get your logging program ready, get your cursor in the right spot, and you would say, CQ field day. Now, normally if it's a contest, you could say CQ test or CQ contest. For field day, because we like to pretend it's not a contest, for field day, we say C2 field day, CQ field day, and then you would say Kilo Oscar 4 Echo Foxtrot Sierra. And then when they answer you, they would say KO4 EFS, this is K4 RAB. And I would say K4 RAB, this, please copy. I'm 3 Alpha, South Florida. Mm-hmm. And then QSL, thanks for South Florida and good luck on field day, QRZ. And then, so basically it's call, answer, exchange, have a good one. It's basically very similar to an FT8 contact,
yeah,
surprisingly. But yeah, so that's really all there is to it. And there's nothing you have to memorize. What I do is I write down in big letters on a piece of paper my exchange and I stick it next to the computer.
Yeah, I've been done that.
And that way I don't ever forget what I'm supposed to say.
Because I've forgotten what I forget is what I'm supposed to say, and I'll say something stupid.
Yep, I do it too. And that's why I don't like to do that. I don't like to sound stupid. Another thing that you want to think of, I don't want to sound stupid in front of my local club, you know. They're a bunch of my friends, and I don't want them to hear me sounding like an ass on the radio. Guess what? Work from your house.
It's a bit late for that.
Yeah, probably. But work it from your house and practice this time, because it's HF, which means they're probably not going to hear you right down the road anyway. I sit here working from my house, and I got FMARC right down the road here, and I generally will get them maybe once. It's pretty rare. I'd have to be like facing in that direction in order to get to them. Okay, let's see here. Hints for working phone. Don't keep calling. If you call a station that's got a bad pileup and you've called about 20 times and you're not getting through, I go do something else. Come back. He'll still be there. Let me tell you why.
Back to him.
It could be propagation.
Yeah.
He may just not be hearing you. It may not even be the pileup. He may just not be hearing you. So I'll try about 5 or 10 times. I'll work a pileup. If I can't get it, I move on. I got a little bit of ADD.
I'll tell you something else I do sometimes, particularly on CW with the SST. If he doesn't hear me with one antenna, I switch antennas and try again. And quite often I get through that way.
Yeah.
So that's the virtue of having more than one antenna.
That's true. And if you got a rotor.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to also say, in that same vein, if you have a directional and a rotor, you can also adjust that left and right, so you can get.
I do that too sometimes.
You can even look up his call sign and see what state he's, or listen to his exchange, find out what state he's in, and aim for him.
Yeah.
There's things you can, if you really want that guy, get him.
Yeah.
I like to work at 80% of power. But I'm not shy about turning it up if I really want to get a station. I'll give it a few blasts at 100 watts. I only run at 80.
5 watts.
Well, I run my transmitters. I rarely run them over 80 because I'm broke and I can't buy new transmitters. So I'm just trying to be careful. I got cold air vents piped into the back of my radios because I'm worried about them overheating.
Forced air cooling.
Yes. Yeah, forced air that's 46 degrees coming out of my air conditioner. My radio stays like an ice box.
Wow,
all right. Let's see. Don't be long-winded when calling CQ. That's true if you're getting responses. It's not true if you're not getting responses. If you're going CQ contest, KO4 EFS. CQ contest, I say try something different. I do a longer one. CQ field day, Kilo, Oscar 4, Echo, Foxtrot, Sierra, KO4 EFS, calling CQ contest from South Florida. And you'll get more responses because people have found you as they went by because you had twice as much of a preamble there, and more people will find you. So is it true that you want to call out very short CQs? Yes, if you're in a pileup. Most of the time, these guys, they don't say CQ contest, CQ. You know what they say? QRZ.
Yeah, that's useless.
That's it. That's all you get. QRZ. And then I'll go KO4 EFS, and he'll go KO4 EFS, copy, I'm 1 Delta, North Florida. And I'm like, good copy, 1 Delta, South Florida, good luck. And he'll be like, QRZ, that's it. I mean, these guys, that's all you hear. And then it doesn't say it in summer field day, but in a lot of contests, it says, at least every third transmission, you must have your whole call sign in there. And, so you can do that a couple times, but you need to finally go, KO4 EFS QRZ, so that at least you're identifying. But when you work a pileup, you should already have that man's or woman's call sign, zone, number, the class. You should have it all written out already on your log. And you just haven't hit enter yet. And then when he finally does answer you, you can just concentrate on taking care of him because you've already got his whole exchange from the last 10 people he talked to. You didn't need to wait for him to give it to you. Him giving it to you is a formality at this point. You've already got it. And then you just hit enter. The moment he answers you, QRZ, boom, you hit the enter button, you're done. Yeah. That's how I do it. I generally won't even start working a pileup till I at least have his full call sign.
Yeah.
And then I'll start working it because I can get the rest. Every now and then, I'll be done with him and I didn't get it all. No big deal. I just hang around for the next one and get it off of him. You know what I'm saying? He's going to continue to call. You just get it from the next one he talks to. It's no big deal.
Some of the contests require serial numbers,
which is no big
deal. You do a little arithmetic and you can figure out what your number is if you miss your number.
Exactly. If there's a serial number, if he'll be like check number 109, that means you're on line number 109 of his log.
Yeah.
Which is no big deal because if you miss what number you are, if he tells the next person he's 110, I mean, you can pretty much figure it out from there. But yeah, the log line numbers, I don't like that because it shames the shit out of me. Because I'll be like, you're check number 36, and he'll come back, okay, you're check number 4,370. I'm like, how in the hell? He's been doing this for 4 hours like I
have. I don't pay attention to that.
What am I doing wrong? So anyway,
I'll tell you what I'm doing wrong back in the kitchen, munching or in the crap or something, but I don't pay attention to it. I just keep going. I don't, sometimes when I'll start a contest on a Sunday that's been going on all day Saturday, and he'll say his number is 6,935, and I'll come back here 0006.
There you go. And
or you can start your log at 400 or 800 or whatever.
Maybe it's like ordering checks,
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, start my checks at 200,000.
That would be gross inflation. That'd be QSO inflation.
Yeah. I think when I get checks printed, just have the last 3 digits already printed on there.
Yeah.
All right. So,
well, of course you
don't. Go ahead.
You still got to wait for the your signal report, of course, haven't you?
Yeah.
That's all 5'9".
Everybody I've ever contacted in a contest was 5'9". It's pretty cool. But yeah, that's another thing. Some contests, and I don't think Winter Field Day does this, but some contests, you're supposed to give a signal report. I actually saw a contest the other day that I was looking at getting involved with. I think it was the 1010 or something. It says in there, actual signal report. And then after that, in parentheses, it says, no, an actual signal report. And I bet everybody's still friggin' 5'9".
This 5'9" baloney.
Oh my God. Anyway, if someone needs you to repeat something, repeat it. Just be cool about it. I tell you what, if I have to repeat something, I try to find a different way to repeat it. And the one thing you'll have to repeat a lot is South Florida, SFL. And I'll say, South Florida, SFL, Sierra Fox Lima. So don't be shy about that. If he can barely hear you, if he has you repeat it a second time, I would spell out Sierra Fox Lima. Sierra Foxtrot Lima,
boy.
however you want to do it. Yeah.
I can make you eat your words now.
What's that?
Think about it. Fox.
Well, I don't make up phonetics.
It's Foxtrot.
Well, okay, I'm abbreviating. So what? It is Foxtrot. And I actually do say Foxtrot on the radio. All right, so hints for digital modes. It says PSK31 and RTTY are the most popular field day digital modes. Don't know if I'm buying that. I think that's probably from 4 years ago. This is a few years old, and I think the information's old. I can't believe they're allowing FT8, so I can't believe that FT8's not going to be huge. My only thing is, I can work FT8s, get contacts 3 times faster, and get twice the points for them. But I want to work phone. So, but again, the points don't matter. I'm going to work phone. The macros for field days should be set up just like those for CW. Let's see. You got to set your WSJTX program to work with your M1NM logger, and I've never been able to get that to work anyway, so I'm probably not going to do that anyway. No need. Go ahead.
If you're a single operator, can you operate more than one radio?
I don't know if I can answer that.
Yeah, because
I
it's
just
not
thought of it.
operators,
It's like-
it's radios.
No, I think if you're a single operator, I think you're a single operator. I don't know. That is a
it's
good
nothing to do
question.
with operators, it's the radios, it's the transmitters.
It's in the rule, one transmitter. It's in the
It's
rule.
the transmitters.
Is it? Okay,
Yeah.
thanks, Dave. Yeah, I wasn't sure. And if I'm not sure, I'm going to say I'm not sure. Yeah, so one transmitter. So like I think I'm going to be a 1D station. The 1 would be the number of transmitters. I don't think you can be a 2D station. So yeah, he's right. Yeah.
And if you're operating with 2 operators, then it would be a 2 delta because you've got, the transmitter, it's a single transmitter, but you've got a different class in there because if you're using a logger, you got to justify 2 people.
Yeah, so I don't know. I would think that might be against the rules because if you end up logging one on the SSB right around the same time you're getting them on FT8, they probably would they'd kick you back for that.
Yeah, my only experience at field day is operating under the club call sign.
Right.
So that's how they can have multiple transmitters, right?
Yeah, they can have as many as they want as long as they claim them. Like I said, the 1 year I did up here for winter, we were a 7A station. So,
If you look at the results that published in ARRL, there's a station in Pennsylvania that reports 20.
Wow.
I don't know how you get 20 transmitters in a 1,000-foot radius and get them all hooked up to antennas.
And keep from interfering.
I know. I mean, you'd have to get. They're obviously going to have to use what do they call those filters, isolators? Yeah. They use FMARC has a whole board of those things that they run everything through.
Yeah, bandpass filters. But you can
Bandpass filters, yeah.
You can do, you can have a little handheld on 220. You can have it on, maybe 10 gigs, just a little one across the room.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think they limit you on how many times you can change bands.
No.
If that's the case, some do. I don't think this one does. If that's the case, then you can monitor 10 different frequencies and then respond to whichever one you're getting the call on. Like I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to be on voice on my single sideband over here, but I'm probably going to have my FT100 monitoring other frequencies all the time, trying to find something else. I do try 2 meter single sideband, 2 meter call. And also, like he said, if 6 is open, I'm going to have that hooked up to my beam, and I'm going to be just leaving it on. And then, if I find something over there, I'll go work that and I'll come back. As long as you're not using them both at the same time, they can be in receive mode at the same time. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think, I'm not sure about this year, but I think if you changed the bands last year, you had to stay on that band for at least 15 minutes before switching back.
okay. I'll see. I've got the rules here that I haven't gone through yet. Maybe we should just do those real quick.
You know that I think they changed. I don't know if they changed the rules this year or not.
No, I think you can pop onto another band and just listen, because you'd want to go up to 15 to see if it was active. If it wasn't active, if there's nobody on there, then you go back. I don't think they can nail you for that. Maybe if you transmit on the band, then they say you got to stay there for a while. I don't know, but quite often, I've worked friends or people, especially in Pennsylvania, and they say, "Oh, can you pop up to 15? Can you pop up to 10? 10's open, so you jump around."
Right.
Yeah, Dave, it's just transmit. I mean, if you don't transmit, if you switch and listen and then you go back, that doesn't count. But I mean, it's just transmitting. I'll pull up the rules and look.
I always like to try to get the 2 meter multiplier, and that's something I want to do again. We did that one time where we all went to 70 centimeter single sideband simplex, and we all started talking to each other. And you know what we figured out? All of our radios were a little bit off of the frequency, and we had to have one of us do a 10 count and everybody dial in on the one person. Is that crazy?
You're probably overloading the front ends.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of us have Shack in the boxes we were using. So, but anyway, yeah, it was. I just thought that was an interesting old thing. Okay, that's what I got for that. I'll show you guys. This is the section map. You should probably have this on one of your screens, or possibly wherever you could put it. But this is the map. Basically, you can see how Florida is split into 3 zones.
Yeah.
This will help you if you have this on a screen or print it out or something and just have it there. It will help you, because that way, if he says, yeah, I'm in, Colorado. Well, you know right about where that is. You can just look real quick. Oh, yeah, it's CO. A lot of times they'll give you the state, but they won't give you the abbreviation. They'll say Minnesota. Okay, well, that's MN. Okay. So this map helps me a lot. I keep this up on one of my screens the whole time I'm contesting. It looks like a map from like my middle school that the teacher would have pulled down above the chalkboard, But anyway, there you go. And then, of course, the N1 logger is what we recommend. I know that's what Rick and I use, and I think a lot of the other people use it. I know that the clubs are using paid software, a lot of them. But if you're by yourself, if you're contesting by yourself as a 1D or whatever, this is all you need, and it's free. And it works great. I have no issues with it at all. This is like your little login screen here. This is where you would put the exchange. Of course, this is a different contest because you would not say 5.9, 5.9. Everybody's always 5.9. All right. So anyway, I'm not going to go through all that, but that is the logger. And I want to go ahead and pull that up so we can take a quick look at it. N1 Logger Plus. It's the M1 Logger Plus. Brought to you by Ronco. Okay, you get all these crazy screens that come up. I got a new version. Do I want to install it now? No. Okay, so you get all these different screens that come up. This was the last contest I worked because I haven't reset it yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to reset this for a new contest. All right, so the first thing we need to do is we need to do a new log in the database. All right. No, let's do a new database. So I'm going to create a new database that I'm going to call Summer Field Day 2022. And then I'm going to go into that one and create a new, okay, here it's doing it all for me there. File. I'm now going to open the log in the database. All right. Now, here's where you set this up. Now, guys, help me, Rick. Guys, not great on this, but we're going to be setting this up for June Field Day, right?
I'm not sure if it starts out ARRLFD. It probably is just FD.
Well, this is ARRL Field Day in
Works.
June. That has to be it. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. So there it is. There's your start time, 1800 Zulu, which is 1 p.m., I think. Okay, so here's where you put your class. Are you a single op, a multi-op, or a check log? We're going to be a single operator. Bands will be all. Yeah. Power is going to be high unless you're running QRP.
Well,
oh no, wait a minute. I'm low up to 100, right?
Low up to 100, and I don't think they're permitting anything above 100 watts.
No, they're not. I saw that this year. Yeah, no more big boys out there. So if you're up to 100 watts, your power is low. Mode is whatever modes you're going to be using. For me, it's just going to be single sideband. I don't believe we do an overlay because that's for like if you're a student or things like that. You can put other things up. I don't ever use that. Station is fixed. Again, here's where you would put what kind of station you're running. Mine's going to be a fixed station. It's the lowest credit, lowest score you can get. Don't care. Assisted. Again, I don't care about my score. I care more about lying accidentally. So I always just leave it as assisted.
Yeah.
Because that way I can use all my PSK programs and I can call my buddies and I don't have to worry about it. I don't want anybody to think I'm cheating. So I leave it as assisted. Transmitter is 1. And the cent exchange is, I'm going to be a 1H. I guess it is. I guess I'm an H station. I thought it was D this year. I have to look that up and make sure. Because I think it might be a 1D, but I'll double check that. But here's where you put your exchange. 1D, South Florida.
Yeah.
Okay. And then my operator, I'm KO4 EFS. Soapbox, I don't know why they call it that, but that's just for any notes that you would like to put with the logbook. And then basically, at this point, you would click OK, and now you're ready to contest. I'm now set up the contest. Notice it's just got my phone frequencies over here. I can switch to whatever. Well, it's doing that same thing it does all the time. It's not letting me switch. Is this thing going to give me a hard time all the time like this? Look at this. It won't. Again, it lets me pick 1.25 meters and 20 meters and 40 meters.
I don't get that. Are you getting any output from your radio? In other words, no. Okay.
No. I have to type it. So what I have to do now is, as I contest, I have to keep the log open on my middle screen here, and every time I make a contact, I have to go over and type the frequency in manually.
Yeah.
You've got the screen behind that screen. That's all you've got selected is 10, 15, 20, and 40. So no, that string, no, one behind that. That's it. Those you've only got those bands selected. So have you set something up odd to work only those bands?
Nope. Nope. I've had this problem every time. Huh?
on that same screen that says 10, 15, 20, and 40,
Yeah.
what's that says expected to the left?
I don't know. I don't ever use any of these. All I use is the worked. That's all I ever get. I don't know what all the rest of that is.
You've only got those
Yeah, that
four
you don't
bands
have
selected at the
80,
top.
and you should have also, I don't
Yeah,
know.
it shows me. Notice it omitted the work bands. They're not in here.
Oh yeah, work bands won't be in.
So, but it won't let me select 15 or 10 or 6
Yeah,
or 2.
that's weird.
Yep, and 80. It won't let me select 80. That's why every time I use this for contesting, I have to literally go into the log manually and type the frequency in and make every line, fill every line out properly.
Now, question: does your radio have cat control capability?
Not my voice radio, no. I never could get it working. I tried for years, never could get it working. Gave up on it. 756 Pro 2.
The login program is not expecting you to have cat, is it? You haven't still got it up to.
It's very handy because then
configure
then you can get a frequency readout, and when you switch bands, it will switch right along with you, and you don't have to go through all of that trying to switch bands.
Yeah, I know, but I have a rig control cable, but it doesn't work.
So
I've never been able to make it work.
Yeah, you need.
So what's the next one over? Configure.
Remember the big fight I had with HRD, those bastards? That was all, and they never, my rig control never did work.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, there's a sale on HRD. Is it worth buying or not necessary?
No, I would recommend against it. Let me tell you what, I spent $100. They never could get it working on my system, and I did not get my money back.
Yeah.
And they'll give up on you quick too. Their tech support's very short.
And don't take that as gospel. Talk to other guys that run HRD because they swear by it.
Yeah.
I'm sure they do if it works, but if it doesn't work for you, you're screwed out of your money.
It's on sale for $74.
Well, mine wasn't worth anything, so.
What's the station data? Scroll up.
Your station and location and all that stuff.
No, down one. That's it.
That should have your call sign and your address and all that.
It's not your transmitter then.
It's probably used for when you create your Cabrillo file at the end of the contest.
That's my biggest problem with this whole contesting thing is I have to manually log that frequency every time, and it slows me way down.
You need to try and get that fixed.
Well, and I never could get my money back for the control cable either. That it was the worst experience you could imagine in ham radio.
Now, what was the control cable you had or have?
I bought a control cable that had 2 pigtails on one end and 2 pigtails on the other. On one end, you've got an audio cable, and you've got a serial, like a bend cable, like a round with pins in it. And those 2 went in the back of the radio, and then you had a USB and a sound and a 2 sound card input and outputs that go into the computer. And I hooked it up 15 times to 4 different computers and never could get it to work. It could not find the radio.
Okay, well, first, with an ICOM transceiver, you got to download the driver from ICOM to get, and you got to do that before you put the program in your computer. And second off,
you plug the cable in.
Yeah.
Right, and second off, my cat cable is a USB straight into the back of the transceiver. No multiple connections at all. It's all in one cable. So you probably
you've got a newer radio than mine. Mine doesn't have USB control like that.
I have a ICOM 756 Pro. I have the Pro, not the Pro 2 that you have.
Yeah, but they're going to be close.
And mine has no USB plug. It only has the round den plug in the back, and it has a little small, like, headphone plug.
Yeah, you use the cat cable, or you use the cat, the 9-pin DIN connection.
PIV interface.
Yeah, or the data input output.
Probably.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I went through it with tech support from the cable company that sold me the cable.
Where did you get?
And I went through the tech support with HRD after that. And none of them could ever help me get it going. We uninstalled and reinstalled the drivers. We tried different systems even. So there's something wrong with the radio, or the cable came to me brand new bad. I don't know which. So, and after spending $75 on the cable set and spending $100 on HRD and getting nothing out of it, I walked away from it. Just not even worth it. That's why I bought the FT100 radio, and I do all my digital with that. I could use the FT100 for the voice contest over the weekend. Not this weekend, but next weekend. I could do that. I could take the FT100, hook up the rig control to this computer, take it off that one, put it on this one.
Yeah.
And I could probably get N1MM. I don't know, but I probably could get it to talk to that radio.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And that's probably what I should do. But I like using my icon. It's got the screen and everything else. My other one doesn't. I literally am just dialing around in the blind. So
now on those icon rigs, do you have to buy an option to have that control, to have it's called CIV. It's a protocol. In other words, all it is RS-232. It's like half duplex. It only goes one way at a time, but it does it very rapidly. I know about that because I've got a 10-tech rig, which does the same thing. But the like the Kenwoods and everybody else, you just took a USB cable in. But this deal is you go to a USB, from a USB to, like you said, it's an 1/8-inch plug like you put into a radio earphone. And if you don't have a place, you may not be plugging it in the right place on that radio, because
I'm 100% sure it's in the right place. I know because like I said, I've been through it with so many different people. I even had several hams try to help me with it as well.
Yeah.
There's one plug goes into one of these two, whichever one it fits in.
Yeah.
And the other one, I believe it goes into whichever one of these two. And I know which one it goes in. It's marked. And when you plug, this is the actual control for the radio. This gives you your input and output audio.
Now, some of those ICOMs, you had to buy an option to be able to use that. And that's the thing I'm wondering if you have that or not. I don't know. You might.
No, I had a Pro 2 and I didn't have any
trouble with that.
But I never used that particular software. I used the, what's it called? The N3 FJP.
Well, it doesn't matter what software you use. I've tried to connect it to 5 or 6 different types of software.
And it still wouldn't work.
The JS8 call program. I even downloaded some rig control programs that are designed for rig control, and the WSJTX program. Nothing would work with it. It doesn't.
You've probably got an interface problem in your radio.
Yeah, something.
You've probably got a non-reverse diode to protect shorting or something blown.
Yeah,
sounds like it.
That's what it sounds like.
Yep, $800 boat anchor.
Well, yeah. Honestly, receiver. They're quite good rigs. I enjoyed mine.
They're very good radios.
I like the rig. I wish it had a waterfall.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. I wish.
Pro 3 did, yeah. Well, add an SDR to it.
Yeah.
You can add an SDR because it's got an IF. It's got an
IF output, I'm sure.
Yeah. The IF's not so good, but it's got a receive output, I think. So you could
actually receive from that like you do from the handy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure it does.
Okay, let me keep up here. So what are we talking about? I can plug the radio into my computer and make a waterfall on there that I could see?
Yeah, use an SDR. If you use
receiver.
I have SDRs coming out of my, you know what? I got 3 or 4 of them here.
Yeah.
But how,
Some of those don't go all the way down into the HF range.
well, these things don't work worth a crap in the HF range,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Yeah. That's not what they're primarily intended.
And that's why I don't know. I just, if I had a way to see something with the FT100, I would just use the FT100.
Yeah.
But I hate working voice in the blind like that. I like to be able to see what it looks like. I'm very visual. And not being able to see, you know, if I was on FT8, I could see the waterfall on there. But when you're on voice, it doesn't look like that. I don't know.
Well, this is my, hang on, I don't know where I am now. I was going to share this is my 9000, sorry, this is my 2000 that's got my Yaesu FT2000 that's got no USB hub in it. It's an older rig. And if I can share.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you, if you're on FT8, can't you tune it to a different frequency to see the waterfall?
Well, you would think so, but the waterfall on FT8 is a much smaller waterfall than what you would see on here. Voice on FT8's waterfall just looks like a mess. It doesn't really show you anything because it's not near as wide as this scope is showing us right here.
Oh yeah, I understand.
Well, this is SDR Uno, but there's a bunch of different ones that you can, and basically all I've got is I'm using the 9-pin DIN as cap control, and I'm using RX out that goes into the SDR that comes up to here, and that's full screen. What you're seeing now, that's full screen, and I can tune it, you know, just by doing that, and tune it to the, you know, whichever frequency I want to go to, top and bottom. You can.
Is this a program that it?
Well, this is, yeah, it's an SDR receiver. It's called SDR Play. It's one of the top end ones. I used to use one of the lesser ones, but I got rid of that and got this one. And then the program is called SDR Uno, which is the interface, but it's the same as the regular SDR program. I know that Joseph has got a program very similar to this. It's a cheaper one.
I use SDR Sharp, which is the free one.
SDR Sharp, yeah, well, that's the same. So, and all you need, you can do it with an IF out, but you get limited bandwidth. I've got 10 megs of bandwidth. I think with the IF out, you only get.
But where do you hook up to? I mean, what are you using a separate antenna? I don't understand.
No, I've put an antenna into the rig, and then on the rig itself, it's got an RX out, but you can put a switch in to do that. So basically, the antenna goes into the rig, and then it comes out through another socket, and that socket is switched off when you're transmitting. It then goes into the SDR unit, which is plugged into a computer, and then the software on the computer looks at it all, but then the computer to the rig has got a serial cat command cable, which makes it change frequency or band or whatever else you want to do. It's called a pan adapter. Look it up. Yeah. Pan adapters, there's hundreds of them. It's real easy to do. You can do it on old rigs. So this is quite an old rig. This is an FT2000D. It's probably, I don't know, 10 years old maybe.
Wow. Well, you're blowing my mind, and it's still early enough to get something like this going.
Yeah, well, I use it on my, I haven't got it connected at the moment. I use it on my FT847, which is 20 years old. I use the same system. I haven't got it connected at the moment. I'm playing with it because the little encoder I have to take apart and clean. Yeah, I used to have this running on an my old Kenwood 440. I have the same system running on the same rig as you've got. In fact, I sold the rig to a member of the club, and I think he's still got it, which is Andrew, K04FEY. I don't know if you know Andy, but yeah, you can do that. I mean, this is high end. This is, you
Because
know,
I have full rig control and full audio in and out on my FT100.
so all you need is
But I don't know
you've
where
got
it would.
STR Sharp. Well, how does STR Sharp? At the moment, you put your antenna directly into your SDR receiver. Just
Yeah.
put it through your rig and into your receiver.
I don't know where to. There's no output for that on my
Okay, you
rig.
can get a little box from MFJ that'll do the switching. It's called a. I used to have one. I don't know if I still got it. I may have sold it at the last Amfest. It's called an MFJ. I think it's called MFJ input switch or something like that. And they're not expensive. So basically what you're doing is you're putting the antenna into the box, and then out of the box it's going into the rig. So, and then from there it tees out to your SDR. But what it does is it switches off as soon as you transmit. It's because you don't want to be transmitting on the input to your SDR.
No, that direct power like that would destroy it.
It'll destroy it. So that's all it does. Well, the SDR, what I've got is SDR Play. They're about $100. I say they're kind of 3 times the price of the, but they've got a bunch of filters built in. You see all those switches here are filters. So
Right.
this is, it's not a broadband SDR receiver. It is a broadband SDR receiver, but it's got filters for all these individual bands. It's actually got more than that. I can't see because it's hidden, but you've got upper and lower, and you've got broadcast and all sorts of other things. So it's more based towards amateur radio, but it's basically the same SDR receiver. So it's about $109, I think it is, something like that. And I don't have to put a switch in because I've got an RX out. So you can do that, you know, easily. I mean,
I'm wondering if my radio has an RX out.
I'm pretty sure I can look. I'm pretty sure it has, because I can't remember. I did have a switch, but I know I used that on the old TS440 because that was valve outputs and that tube.
What kind of output would it normally have?
It's just called RX. It's called RX output. Hang on, what's it an icon?
It's a 756 Pro 2.
On the back.
They got IF out.
Okay, yeah, all right. Well, you can use IF out, but that's not as good. But it will still work to get you going. What's all those on it? Yeah, RX antenna. There you go.
Okay.
So I can put it right there, and none of the transmit power will come out through there.
No.
Yeah.
And that should be. Now
No,
that
that's
might
receive
be.
antenna. That's when
No,
you
that's a
have
receive
separate-
antenna. No.
Yeah.
You want RX out. This is RX in.
Yeah.
But I don't know what XVert is.
Okay. Yeah. IF out. All right. That CIV thing is where you hook your.
That's the controller, right?
That's the
Yeah.
controller. Yeah. And you see, you need.
ALC
know.
and send. Those are just switches, the 2 on the right, they're on or off. So yeah, you can use IF.
That's for like a foot switch, right? I think.
Yeah. I don't know. You have to look at the manual.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly what it
that's
is.
speaker control, and that's a keyer.
Yeah.
And then
So-
one of these are 2 different kinds of plugs. One of these fits my plug and one doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the XVerter, now that puts out a low wattage, doesn't it? No, you haven't actually got one that you can get little boards that you can put inside your rig and wire it in, or you can get the switch from MFJ. I prefer to get the MFJ switch, but it's called a pan adapter. So I can't. That's what you're looking at. The waterfall and the cat control is called a pan adapter. Let me see if I can
I would
find.
be inclined to be safe to hook into the IF out. Now, the bad thing about that is you're not going to get a good frequency rate out on your pan adapter. But
No.
the good thing is you don't wind up frying your SDR because of,
Well, that's why you get the MFJ switch.
yeah.
Unless if I can't remember.
But I could hook into that IF out and then put that right into my SDR receiver and see what I get.
Yeah, and you'll get. Here we go. Microsoft. Oh no. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Yeah, it's oh, for goodness sake, I hate these adverts. Uh-oh. Looking in the wrong place. There's a couple of videos using it, but I'm trying to bypass RF bypass switch. Connect your antenna and trigger so you can switch or bypass your antenna linear and just bring up what we do on other devices. And of course, you don't get a price.
Yeah, I don't think I'm all that interested in opening it up and soldering shit.
No, I didn't. I, you know, I may even have one still. I had a bunch of stuff that I took to the Hamfest, and I know there was one in there. I'm pretty sure it's not in there now, so I would have sold it. But this one's $54, the switch. That's one of the switches. I don't think you need to pay that much because this is a fairly complex one. It runs 1.5 kilowatts. You don't want anything as meaty as that. I'll look it up and send you the info. Oh, here we go. MFJ pan adapter switch download. Pan adapters. Oh, yeah. Here's a bit better explanation. N4PY. Now, that's running a pan adapter. That kind of gives you an overview of what you're doing, but it doesn't give you good visuals. I'll find the switch. Oh, I know where I can find it. Oh, for goodness sake.
That would be 7.
Yeah, I don't guess I have it.
That's for controlling the. Okay, the control cable that you have, does that have a mono or stereo plug?
I think it's stereo.
That may be the problem.
There it is right this minute. I don't have it hooked up anymore. I got all my wire cables are all wrapped up down there. I don't know. I believe it was a stereo type plug.
Yeah.
Had the 2 rings.
I've got an IC 756 Pro 2 cat control programming cable here for $21, and it's monaural. It's just got a regular 1/8 inch plug on it, and it goes
$21, huh?
$21. Yeah. MaritimeMobileRadio.com.
Well, let me tell you, I'm interested because I could go ahead and order that right now.
Yeah,
Here's the thing. The sound card stuff that I have already works.
yeah.
So I have a way of hooking this radio both in and out of the sound card if I need to.
Yeah,
It's this
that's
cat
good.
control that I don't have.
It's the cat control. Well,
Right.
I think that's your problem because if that cable you've got, if it's a stereo plug, it's probably not going to work with that radio because this one I've got here it's a monaural plug. So, it's probably explains everything why you're getting nowhere.
Right.
Got the wrong cable.
Well, and the thing is it's God, we checked that over and over, but you know how it is.
Yeah.
It sometimes
Sometimes
halfway.
a problem can be standing right there and biting you in the ass, and you still don't see it.
Yep. Well, I would love to get my cat control working of that radio before field day.
Yeah.
Or, I don't even think you could probably hook a pan adapter up to my FT100.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's nothing coming out of it anywhere.
Yeah.
It's like a mobile radio, you know?
I'm wondering if you could pick up the phone and call a ham radio outlet or Gigaparts and ask them for it.
Yeah.
That might be a good idea in your situation there. And they could probably tell you definitively one way or the other. They're up tomorrow, Saturday, so they're open. Call them up on the 800 line and say, hey, I'm looking for a cat control cable for the CIV input output on my ICOM IC756 Pro 2. And they could probably send you in the right direction right there.
Back when I ordered this 2 years ago, it was crazy how I had to get it.
Yeah. But I'll almost bet what's happening is you've got the wrong cable. If it's got a stereo plug on it, that's probably more than likely what's wrong.
Yep. That might be. All right. Well, let's move past that. Does anybody have anything else about field day that they would like to bring up or discuss? All right. The next thing I wanted to show you guys real quick. And by the way, my back's really bad tonight, so I'm probably going to call it here in a few minutes after we do our 2 hours. Really, really hurting tonight, but I'm trying to stick it out. By the way, with my back totally trashed, just to let you guys know, I produced a morning show with Drew Steele this morning.
Yeah.
And then I went and saw a client, and then I did about 3 hours of editing, and then I went back to work and produced the afternoon show. And now I'm here. So I'm very tired. I wanted to show you guys a couple of things. I found this. I thought it was kind of cool. Apparently this is like a little programmer now that you can plug in and you can hook it up with Bluetooth to your phone so you can program your radio on the fly. I've never tried one. I don't know how it works, but I thought, man, for $25, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It plugs into your radio and then it's Bluetooth to your phone.
Bluetooth to the phone.
And then the phone, you put the programming in the phone. I don't know. I thought it was kind of neat. Maybe something to check out.
Yeah, I got one of those.
You do? Does it work good?
Yeah, it does. The only drawback is that it doesn't, you have to use the phone app to load your stuff in. So for instance, the easiest thing to do after using it a few times is to have something good in your phone already and load it into the system there, and then you can edit it from there.
Right.
It's a little bit more complicated than doing it for a full product, but it does work.
Yeah.
And also, if you're having problems with serial ports, this apparently will get you around all of that too.
What is it? Some kind of chirp for the Android or something, or how's that go?
Oh, it's its own software in there.
Different something. Okay.
And then the other thing I wanted to show you guys was these things that I thought were pretty cool. These are little amplifiers. You know, a lot of people are like, well, I'm out in the fringes and all I got's Bofang and I don't know if I want to spend a whole lot of money on a big mobile rig or whatever. This thing might be what you're looking for.
Yeah.
For 130 or so dollars, this hooks up to your Baofeng basically, and yeah,
Hook it into big Baofeng.
yep. All you do is you come out of your antenna connector, and you know change it up to a UHF plug, a PL239, and then go into the back of this, and then come out of the back of this and go to your antenna, and now your Baofeng's 20 to 40 watts.
The only drawback I see here is you got to have one of these for each band.
Yes,
Yeah.
they do not make this in a multi-band. So it's one of those things. It's a stopgap. Here's where it might work out good for you if you're doing something like APRS, or you're doing something like
Yeah.
where you're setting up something. You could use this with a Baofeng, and it would be a cheap option that would probably last a long time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then the last thing, I just starting to find more and more ham radio equipment on Amazon, which is cool. Nothing wrong buying from ham radio companies. I'm not anti-ham radio company, just HRD. But no, when it comes to this, I think it's cool. I'm an impatient person, and I fell in love with Amazon. You know, did you guys hear they're actually looking at their starting their drone delivery program? Walmart starting theirs, and Fort Myers is listed as a test town for Walmart's systems.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, so there's a lot of these systems going to be coming online in the next few years. Basically, it's going to come and hover over your backyard, and if it doesn't detect anything below it, it's going to drop your package.
Does it detect porch pirates?
Yeah.
What
Well,
if
the
I
neat
ordered?
thing about
What
this,
if I ordered eggs, man?
it said specifically it was going to drop it in your backyard.
Okay.
So I guess you design where you want your drop zone to be, if you will.
And don't
build
order
your
eggs.
own- build your
Yeah,
own
no
house
eggs, and
there.
I wouldn't order any nice glassware either.
You build a helipad in your backyard, a small one for the
Yep.
drone.
I could order 2 waitresses to go with nothing on them.
There you go.
All right.
All right, guys, there's no more swap shops for a while. The next one's not till July 9th. I just thought I'd mention that.
We got a while.
Yeah. And the rain chances were shit again today. In case you guys could tell, I like the rain. I want it to rain every day because I hate the heat.
Yeah.
But the rain chances do return tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
We get up to about a
Yeah,
75%
it's going
chance.
away. I'll have to listen to Matt after a while, see what he says. When are they going to get that radar in?
I don't know. I'm waiting.
Because I saw an ad last night said coming soon, and I could see a ball lifting a ball onto a top of a tower, looked like a radar thing, and I thought,
oh, we got a new radar. They bought a new radar. I'm surprised they did it.
Yeah.
And unlike NBC2's radar, ours is going to be located out at Babcock Ranch. So our dead circle that every radar has a dead zone.
A blind zone, yeah.
A blind zone that it can't see. And, we're not going to really have that problem because we're way out at Babcock Ranch. And so the only people that we're not going to be able to see is exactly what's over Babcock Ranch.
Yeah.
With NBC2, theirs is blacked out from Edison Avenue down to about Boy Scout.
Yeah.
And it kind of sucks. That's a big part of town right there.
Yeah.
So, and this new one we're getting is supposed to do everything. It even apparently everything but sexual favors. I mean, this thing, it's supposed to do it all. I don't know. We'll have to see. But I can't wait to play with it. I'm hoping I get access to the data. I'm hoping we all get access to the data.
I hope they set up a web page that you can turn on and display all the time from it, because that's one I get on contests here. I want to be able to do with this Linux box I got over here. I'd like to be able to put it on the radar so that I can watch the weather as I'm operating a contest. That way I don't have to run outside every few minutes to look and see, is there lightning coming?
Yeah. Well, and I use that Blix tongue because
Yeah,
it auto refreshes, and also Windy. If you go
Yeah.
to Windy and select thunderstorm,
Yeah.
it'll do the lightning and the thunderstorm. It'll make the ticket sound and all that when the lightning strikes, and show you the shock waves and everything. But that one works really good, and it auto refreshes. Windy will sit there and run for days on a screen
Yeah.
in full screen mode. So
Mhm.
that's what I like about it.
Yeah.
What
I
channel
see you
is
got
it?
your cameras working, Dave. No, but your mic's not. That's the only bad part. Is it me? Hello?
I hear you.
Hello, Dave. Are you there? Bloody hell. Hello? Hello, America calling. Across the pond. I think he can hear me, but I can't hear him.
Yeah,
Can anybody hear Dave?
Nope.
I don't hear him right now.
Ah, bloody hell.
Oh,
He says, hold on.
I hear him just a little bit.
You need to turn the volume up.
Hello. Time to call the Queen.
She's on Jubilee.
I love accents, and by the way, that's my favorite one.
My favorite one is the Australians. They crack.
Well, Australian, it's the same accent. It's just a lot harder.
It is a lot harder.
Come on, Mike.
Hello. Got me ass kicked by a dingo. But
Okay, can you hear me now?
oh, we can hear you. Oh,
Okay. Too many buttons on this damn microphone. Evidently, you can mute it, and I didn't realize.
there's one push to talk and 3 push to silence on there.
I don't know. No, you've got all sorts of cardioid patterns that you can switch, and at the end of that is a mute, which I didn't realize, and it's on the back. So when you pick it up to move it,
there you go.
So anyway, it's got flashing lights on it, so you'd love it, Ian. You know.
Well, there you go.
But anyway, look,
And
I've
if the
got two
button's in the
cameras.
worst possible place it could be in, the government must have designed it.
yeah, they designed it. I've got 2 microphones. I've actually got 3 cameras, but 2
Look at
cameras
that.
are working at the moment.
New camera.
But how do I put, like you've got at the moment, you've got 2 cameras running. How do I put 2 cameras on one screen?
You need a program called Manicams.
Oh, shit.
I'll show you.
What's it called?
It's called Manicams. Here, I'll show you. I'll give you a quick tutorial. I love Manicams. I love me some.
So if that sounds in many cams.
It's MANY, Manicams, MANYCAMS. You can get the free version, or you can, pay a little bit of money, and it does everything. It's one of those things. You might find another one that's different, but this is the one I use. You can see here, I even use it for other clients and stuff. But these are all my different screens, and whatever screen I hit, that's what comes up. And I can set these up ahead of time. I can move each of the screens around wherever I want them. I can set up colors behind there. I can put images in the front. These are all separate elements that I can move around. Isn't that pretty cool?
That is.
And
okay.
Yeah, and so if I want to add something, let's say I go to this one, and it's just a big old picture of me here with my little sign up here. Now, if I want to add something, I just go here, add a layer, and I can add cameras. These are my cameras I have hooked up. I can add images or video. I can add PowerPoint presentations, PDF files. I can do input from digital devices. I can do input from mobile devices.
Wow, can you put inputs from radios? Because I can't get the audio. I can get the video from my radios, but I can't get the audio. And I've been playing around that. I've been playing around with a mixer called Voice.
Well, again, in here, if you're using Manicams, you would then go over here and click sound. Okay, you click
Oh,
sound
that's what I
here,
want.
and then from here you can actually add as many audio devices as you want, and you can mix all your audio using Manicams as well.
Perfect. I
Yeah,
knew you'd
so
know the answer.
yeah, so I mean, this is basically my broadcast software, whatever you want to call it, my switching software, and I make the screens up ahead of time. I can make colored boxes. I can have a web source. Like I can literally take this and put a web source in here. Like I can take this. I don't know if this might
So you
work.
could put our YouTube channel in and transmit it again.
Yes, yes, I could.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let me see if I've
Okay,
got.
you got me sold. All right. I'll download
It's not that
tomorrow.
much. It's like $30 a year for the paid version. The free version will get you by. They just put a little bug in there, a little corner bug. Yeah, so I went in here and I got our video for tonight in there, and then I can go here and go to YouTube URL, click it in there,
Oh, wow.
and now while we're in show, I can actually play the show in the show while we're on the show.
In the show.
Yeah, this is look, it's an in the show. I got our video for tonight in there.
But it's delayed
Then I
by
can
about
go
4
here
seconds or
and,
something in case you
go to
curse.
YouTube URL, click it in there.
Oh, wow.
And now while we're in show, I can actually play the show. I can mute that if I want to. And then I can make this whatever size I want. I can make it bigger or smaller, and it'll keep playing live off the YouTube there. So I mean,
wow.
this is
Wait
a
till
very
next week.
powerful piece of equipment.
Tool, yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. I like I said, the web source URL is pretty cool. There's some things I like, game stuff. I've never even used these last two. The mobile device, you download an app into your mobile device, and that's all you have to do. And then you go to that device, you pull up the app, and you click allow, and it connects it like a web camera right into here. You guys, you know, when you can see that view from behind me sometimes back here that shows the whole room,
Yeah.
that is an old Note 5 Samsung phone that I just power up back there, turn it on, and there we go. It's all set to go, and I connect it to the Manicam studio, and it comes up as an available camera. So like I got different cameras. This is the camera that's on my laptop. I can select that. This is my other camera that's over on the side, and my other camera that is in front of me. So it's pretty cool.
Cool.
I like this thing. I use it quite a bit. And when I do recordings for my clients, I'll set up the screen with their logo and their branding and the two different cameras and everything on the screen. And we record it using this program. There's a little record button right here. I can also take this program, click this button right here, and broadcast it directly to YouTube from this program. That's how I send out those hurricane, you know, the ones with this, that I got the scanners going and all that.
Yeah.
When I send that out, that's how I do it. I use this program. I set up my audio, what audio I want them to hear at home. I set up the video the way I want them to see it at home, and then I hit go live. And then while I'm live, I could have 6 different screens set up, and I could keep rotating between the screens while I'm live.
Yeah. Oh, you can fade as mix as well. Okay.
Yep, you can cut or fade. It gives you the option to cut or fade. So you can cut or you can fade. It's pretty cool. I mean, it's neat. You can also take a screenshot while you're in program. There's all the different functions there. You can also, with each camera, you go up here to the different settings. You can crop your cameras.
Oh, yeah. So that would be much, much better. Yeah, you need to be in
See,
1080p
crop.
though. It's
Now,
starting to break
now
up.
I can put myself like in one of my little screens here if I wanted to. Look at that.
Yeah, I don't know if you had a chance to look at those videos that I sent you the link to. but there's one there where the guy sits up in the top right-hand corner of the whole video, and he just
Yeah.
sits up there, and he's got a transparent background, so this background is opaque. But I mean, that's probably something different. But it looks really cool because so he's still talking, but he's showing all these little video extracts and whatever about putting
Right.
balloons up in the air. Looks very professional. Yeah, I'm amazed at the difference in the quality of the cameras between my old camera and these two. So to me, anyway, I can only see it on the monitor here. I don't know what you guys it looks like, but you know, because oh, I guess I can.
You can also flip your images upside down. Like if you hang a camera upside down, this will allow you to flip the image. It'll do all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, it lets you do that in Zoom.
Yeah.
You can flip your image up and down and left and right.
But if you're going to put multiple images, you would need to flip them in this program so that they would.
Yeah.
You
keep it all.
Trying to think what else this thing does. You can also set up video playlists, and you can play videos. You could use this thing like as an entire production suite, basically. I like it because each camera, when you select on that camera, it has complete control over contrast, different colors, you know.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I'll download that in a minute. I mean, for $30, I'll probably go for that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's worth it. I pay for the second one up, the middle one, but you know, I think it's like $25 or $30 or something. But I buy it every year. I just re-upped it like 3 months ago. I don't have a lot of these things that I pay for, but this is one that I do because I've been using this since I did my paranormal show years ago. I was using an older version of Manicams that I was paying for. So anyway,
I don't mind paying for stuff if it works, but I do like the fact that you can get it free first, so you can try it, and if it doesn't fit, you can dump it and get something different. But I looked on YouTube about setting up, you know, in-house Zoom stuff, and nothing in there said anything about using. They say about, you know, enhancing these are official Zoom videos though, so maybe they're not going to advertise somebody else's applications. So, but okay, we're in for that. So yeah, I've got these two, which are the Logi cameras, and then I've got another one that is not so great, but it's great. I can put the phones in, so I've got a bunch of phones, old ones.
Yeah, and that works
what
good.
I do, I keep my old phones, and then I reconnect them when somebody comes over from the UK.
I have 7 phones here that I've repurposed, I think.
Yeah, because you get peanuts, you know. I'm just about my phone now. I need to upgrade because I've got an IO8, and you know, I mean, that's a dinosaur as far as Apple are concerned, and they got the 13s on a good deal now. But they're offering, because it's so old, they're offering like $40, you know, back, and it's worth a lot more than that. But I'll use that for like when my sons come over, you know, they can take my phone with them, so they're not playing. That's a stupid thing when you travel, you know, you basically, they talk from here to the UK and back to here again, and the costs are astronomical, especially when you're going on cruise liners or anything like that where you're using their internet and crap. So
this is weird.
I'm going to download that. What's up? You had the time on that one just now.
Huh. I was going to try to show you that real quick, but I can't get it to work. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
All right, so let me get rid of the screen share here. But anyway, that's called Manicams, and that's like I said, that's what I use to make my little virtual studio here. Oh, there we go. And then I click that, and I click this. Now I just turned on my other phone over here. You guys can see that. This is the phone. All I use it for normally is the clock, but I've got it programmed in there. So now what I can do is go back over here click this, cameras, and I go to mobile devices, and it should be one of these two here. Let's see. Mobile device. And then you click accept, and we're good. So there we go. And there's sound. So I can mute that if I want to. There we go. It's muted. And I need to get rid of this. I don't know how to get rid of it. Wow, how do you get rid of this damn thing?
You started it, you're trapped.
Yeah, it's literally like there's this box in here that I can't get rid of. Oh, it's shut down anyway. All right. So anyway, the way you just saw it, that was it. I just connected to that phone. What's neat about it is you can literally connect it up and have as many cameras as you want. I mean, it's pretty cool. Yeah. I think that the middle license, the one I have, look, it allows me to have as many of these little boxes down here, and I can go set these up with whatever I want. Like I can have if I want a color source there. Now it's just a clean palette, and then I can add whatever I want to it. If I want this, I can add a camera to it. I can add whatever I want. I love this thing. I really, really do. I use the web source a lot. Like when we're doing the things online, one of the things I'll do is I'll go to like the hurricane website, spaghettimodels.com, and I can go to any one of these pictures and just right click, copy image address, and stick it right in here, and boom, it'll pull that image right up on the screen for you, just like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then I can take that if I want, and I can unlock it, and I can shrink it down to whatever size I need. I can crop it.
And you can run two cameras at once, so you could make yourself as a thumbnail up in the top right-hand corner.
Easily, yes.
Yeah.
You can run, I've run as many as 4 cameras at one time.
Yeah.
But anyway, there we go. So I apply crop. So now I have that. So now I can right click, add a new layer. Let's add this camera. Right click, add a new layer. We'll add this camera, right click, add a new layer. And we'll add this camera. There. So we got 3 cameras now. And
plus a web feed.
Yep,
that's good.
Yep. So
okay.
I like it.
It's exactly what I'm looking for.
Yep, it's pretty cool software. I definitely like it. So, but that's how you do that anyway.
Yeah, and I've got to work on my lighting a little bit because the whole room. Well, I've got to work on the audio. This microphone's so much better than the other one. I think so anyway. It's easier for me to work with. I think it sounds okay, but it's difficult to tell. But I'll be able to tell by listening to the YouTube show tomorrow.
Right.
See, that's when I realized the switching we did last week to true high definition 1080p, the difference between you the first half of the show and the second was quite high, and me as well. So, and you were only going to 820p, weren't you? All my cameras are 1080p, so I'll be interested to see what that looks like. And Zoom are only doing that. They're only knocking the resolution down so they don't use so much of their own bandwidth.
Oh yeah, everybody's doing that now. They'll default you down to a lower bandwidth.
Yeah.
They're just trying to save bandwidth. Yeah, they're doing it. All right, guys. So where are we at? Does anybody have anything else they'd like to do tonight before we go? Anything else?
Well, I got a quick 6 meter report if anyone's interested.
Yes, let's do it.
Okay, well, 6 meters has been open every single day this week. I've managed to work Portugal and Spain, as well as Holland last weekend, but that was the Friday that we talked to you last time. And the week before that, I managed to work Fiji. All those are on FT8, but I managed to work Northern Ireland on SSB on FT8. Very, very, it took a long, long time. We kept going back to FT8 and coming up. I said QSY and put the frequency in, on the little message you can send. And it probably took about 25 minutes, but we genuinely got all the info, which was kind of good. So 6 meters is still alive, well, and kicking. So if you've got any kind of wet piece of string, give 6 meters a go. I run, I don't know if you can see, but 6 meters is actually open. No, you can't.
Yeah, there's a little opening down there. Looks like over like Alabama.
Yeah. So, I've been working tonight. I think I'll work Northern Ireland and a few other things tonight. Let me see, what did I work? Because I've just been, working away whilst we've been talking. I work Portugal again, Mexico, Spain this evening, plus a load of the US. So some 5s, some 8s, and a 7. So 6 meters is live and well. Give it a go. Start on FT8, and if you can get a signal that's stronger than kind of -10 to -5, you can work them on SSB. That's my experience so far. And I'm only using a hand stick dipole in the attic. So we'll.
And you're hearing them out there. I just pulled up your you're reporting to PSK, so I just pulled it up. Look at that.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you open it up 2 hours, you should be able to see me a lot further than that.
Now this thing's locking up.
Yeah. No, you 12 hours would be okay. You should be able to zoom out a little bit and you'll be able to see Europe.
I don't know what's wrong with this piece of crap.
It's you. There we go. I was interested on your map that you showed earlier on. There's a tiny little area that's got a unique name up in Canada. It may be your map. There you go. Look at that. All over in Europe.
Yep.
Well, see, that green one is me working Northern Ireland, I'm guessing, on SSB. That's over on Northern Ireland. And then, because that was the middle of the earlier on today. But yeah, so and honestly, this is just a hamstick dipole in my attic, fed with 400 coax, I think it is, directly into the rig.
No, more 400.
And I use a FTDX 3000 coupled up to my Mac, and that's it. Nothing fantastic. But I've been a crazy 6 meter guy all my life. Oh yeah, that 11 those 11 hours ago will be the ones where I worked Portugal.
Yeah,
that was about lunchtime, after lunch, early afternoon.
Well, I want to show you guys something that happened to me the other day. I've been playing around with what we're doing next week, which is the PSK reporter. And I've been monitoring using just one of my Yazoo radios here, just on the frequency, hooked up to my Ringo Ranger, just listening. And I normally get people all up around Tampa and, places like that. So I've been trying to, get to know PSK reporter a little bit more since since we're going to be talking about it. And so the neatest thing happened. While I was doing it the other day, this weird opening happened all the way up the eastern seaboard. And so I'm going to pull this up so I can show you here real quick if I can get it to do it. Oh, access. There we go. It's on the other computer, so I just got to pull up the other computer on remote real quick. All right, here we go. And let me share. Okay, and let's go. See, you can see here on this screen, I've got the PSK reporter, or I'm sorry, I've got the APRS, and then over here I've got the APRS propagation map, and then here's the APRS stuff running, and then this is what I ended up getting the other day. This was so amazing. I noticed, I'm like, how am I picking up VHF radios that are 1,100 miles away? But I was. Look at this. If you look at where some of these were, let me go up here to the top, all the way up near North Carolina line right there.
Yeah, from Charlotte.
Look at that. And it was because of this propagation. Look at that. Is that amazing?
Almost
So-
directly from your house, it stops. If you go down to the bottom of that red finger, it almost stops at your house.
I know. Yeah.
I can't see that because it's off the map, but if you go up a little bit, there you go. It stops. Oh no, maybe a little bit below that.
It looks like it's flipping us the bird.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
almost does. But
Upside down bird.
I was very surprised. I mean, that I was able to get that many stations way up that far away, up in the Panama City, out past Panama City. That's the Floribama area. I was very surprised. So I just wanted to show you guys that. I thought that was really cool.
A big
that I was
hole
able
all around Jacksonville.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, and then again in Charleston.
This guy here is mobile, and I picked him up in Tallahassee
Wow.
with my 30-foot Ringo. Now, I'm telling you, that's pretty good. I don't care who you are. So anyway, there you go. That was, and we'll talk about that more next week because we're going to do APRS next week, and we'll be monitoring it live and showing you guys the live screens and stuff. I will admit it's not the most exciting thing in the world, but you want to talk about a real-time predictor of propagation? There's nothing better. See, when you go to 6 meter or you go to a 40 meter or whatever, there's plenty of HF radios that are reporting PSK. What the hell was that?
Oh,
There's plenty of PSK reporting going on out there. But when it comes to VHF, there's not a lot of propagation information available, or is there? And yeah, there is actually. There's a lot. It's over on it's on the APRS system and using the APRS propagation map. I know what it is. I think I'm just hearing pass through from this other computer into this computer. So I need to get rid of that. Anyway, all right. Let's open it back up. Does anybody have anything else they would like to discuss? All right. Well, there's only one disturbance in the tropics that's down just southeast of the Yucatan Peninsula, and it's going to probably go over the Yucatan and merge into the Bay of Campeche, and from there, it's probably going to go off into Mexico. This is really just a non-issue for us. But what is more of an issue is the fact that we're getting into some much, much higher sea surface temperatures. It's kind of surprising how high. Bless America, go away. Not signing up for Twitter. I would never sign up for Twitter. Well, maybe if Elon buys it. Anyway, look at these SSTs, man. We're talking about some very, very, very hot sea surface temperatures that are up over 85 degrees up here. Look at this. So, yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that. Now, the good thing is we don't generally worry about storms up in this area because they've already passed us. But remember Charlie?
We're not seeing anything, Ian. We're still seeing you.
Oh, you're not seeing that? Damn it, I clicked share this stupid thing. You can see here that there's a lot of surface up, a lot of heat up here in the north part of the Gulf. we've got that loop current that goes right through here. And notice it's getting real hot off the coast down here.
Yeah.
Charlie came around, and when it hit right here, that's when it got that burst of energy from the eddies down there in the Florida Straits. So I just wanted to mention that just to show you that we are starting to get the higher sea surface temperatures a little bit earlier in the year than normal. And I'm not ruling out the fact that we're coming into the solar. We've been very busy on the sun lately, and I'm not ruling out. Anytime we seem to be busy on the sun, the earth seems to warm slightly. We seem to have more weather activity and things like that.
Mhm.
That's what always pisses me off when they start going on and on about global warming.
Yeah.
My muffler's doing it. Well, you know what? You know something? The sun provides all the energy to this planet, and it always has, pretty much. Not all of it, but 90% of it.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And if you're going to look at the cause of heat rising and falling, you have to start with the source of the heat.
That's right.
And
There's
so
a
that's
lot of
why
political
I'm not
activists
saying
that
that there's not man-made global warming. I'm just saying don't tell me the science is settled when you haven't looked at the science yet.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see
Yeah,
here.
you need to become a druid. They worship the sun.
There you go.
Good idea.
Well, and you know something? Not that I'm a druid or anything, but let me tell you something. Okay. The sun is the giver of life. It truly is.
It
Yeah.
is.
It gives us everything we need to live. It provides us the energy that we need and everything.
Yeah.
And it's actually proven that if you go long enough without seeing it, it'll kill you.
That's right.
So I know that's
Well,
very
that causes
isn't it?
global
I know
warming.
that's very simplistic, but it's true. There's things you get from direct sunlight that are pretty necessary. And so it's interesting. I study the sun. I love the sun. I think it's an amazing thing. Our star harbors such energy, and yet it keeps from killing us.
Yeah.
It's amazing if you really think about it. That thing should have killed us a long time ago.
Yeah, it's the primary cause of global warming and climate change.
There you go. Yeah. You know
Gotta
the
do
number one
something.
cause of climate change? The changing climate.
Yeah, that's right. They need to do something
Just
about
putting that
global
out
warming.
there for everybody. Anyway,
You gotta do, if you're gonna change the climate, you gotta have to do something about Big Orange, 93 million miles away.
yeah. Well, I mean, if you think man can change the climate like that, then maybe we, if we can change the climate, then why can't we just change the orbit of the Earth?
There you go. We could do it
All right, anyway.
daylight saving time.
All right. So let's see. Anybody have anything else they would like to discuss tonight? Anybody got any projects going on in their shack that they want to mention?
Oh, my little QRP digital rig is on its way to me from Turkey, the kit.
Oh, wow.
So that might be here by next week, but I'll start taking pictures of it as soon as it gets here, and then I might even be able to do a video of putting it together. So I'm getting really excited about that. The labs, QRP labs, QSD device.
Okay.
So I'm pleased about that. And I've been doing some bit of research on the balloons, and I sent you a lot of info on that. There's a lot to watch.
I have that info. As a matter of fact, I'm thinking we may do something one night on that because it's some interesting stuff.
Yeah. And
when you guys first mentioned it last week, I was like, and then I got looking at it. I'm like, this is really cool.
Yeah.
For 30 or 40 bucks, you can put something up that's going to circle the entire globe several times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you
And you
lose
can
the
track
$40 piece of equipment. Okay.
And that would be something I think that the news would be interested in.
You would think, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, it's a little boring, you know, you'd have to sort of do it when it's halfway round or been round once already because it doesn't move particularly fast. Like the last one that's gone up is only moving at 4 miles an hour at the moment, but it's up at 51,000 feet. So it's actually above the jet stream. So it's actually going the wrong way round. And it's gone out in, circling Mexico and whatever. It's kind of cool. That's the 112th that they've put up. This guy puts
that's
ones
neat
up.
stuff.
Yeah, and the
And
way
I'll tell
they
you something
measure the
else I
amount
want
of-
to do. I got
Yeah.
these weird things that I want to do. Okay. I want to get a balloon and I want to string a long ass wire from that balloon.
Yeah.
And I want to see if we can use it to talk on
Well,
radio.
you know the government do that.
Yeah.
They've got a couple of balloons down on the Keys all the time that do it and keep an eye on Cuba.
Yeah.
Well, they keep an eye on the Straits, the Florida Straits. But, you know, you can find it. I can't remember what it's called now. It's got an acronym.
I know those little blimps they run down here. I've read about those. Actually, they're goofy looking.
Yeah, they've got an acronym, and you can look it up. There's a lot of information, but unfortunately, the actual information you want, of course, is not available.
Of course,
you know,
yeah, and it's the government, so of course it's an acronym.
Yeah, yeah.
And the information has been.
It's going to be an acronym that works for an acronym that's under the acronym that's the main acronym for that area of operation.
Yeah.
Under that acronym.
Yeah, it's but yeah, they actually do that. I don't know how we would come against the FAA about doing something like that. Evidently, these balloons are small enough that you don't.
I don't think so.
A drone you can't fly over 400 feet. So
Yeah,
I don't know if that applies to this or not.
Yeah, and if I'm going to put up a big old long wire on a balloon, it'll probably only be about 300 or 400 feet. I don't think we'd have any problem there either.
5/8 wave on 160 meters.
That's that's kind of what I'm thinking. Wait for a weekend when they're doing one of these 160-meter contests or some crap, and go out there and string that bitch up. I'm telling you what, I think it'll work. I really do. I'm telling you.
Put it all up, and then some guy will come on and say, you know, there's a net on here in 4 hours time. We need to keep this band clear.
Yeah. Nothing's more important than ham radio than to keep the repeaters quiet.
I'd keep the frequency ready for the net that's starting in how many hours? Yeah.
Come kick me off a frequency that nobody's using.
So I've got to go.
I'm going to. Does anybody else have anything else they want to give us real quick?
Can't take anything. So I guess.
All right, guys, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna be around this weekend working on stuff in the shack. So if anything comes up, send me an email or give me a call, whatever. And we'll see you guys back here next week for the APRS.
Yeah, 444.
Okay, look forward to it. Okay, 7-3 all.
Yeah, I'll try to keep my radio on this weekend. 7-3 Dave, we'll see you later.
Okay.
All right, we're going to be ending the YouTube stream here. So if you're watching us on YouTube, join us every Friday night here or catch us on the rerun. It's www.swfltech.net. SWFL for Southwest Florida, tech.net. And we'll catch you guys next time.